Welcome back, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day today. I'm not showing my face in today's episode. I don't really know why, but I woke up today and I didn't really feel like doing a face episode. I don't know if I didn't feel presentable or what, but I just sort of wanted to get into the episode today. So yeah, no face today, but there definitely are going to be new cat videos. But in today's adventure of an episode, we've got a whole bunch of Reddit stories to read. And when I say a whole bunch of Reddit stories, I mean a whole bunch. Before we get into the episode, if you could like the video and subscribe if you want to, that would be so awesome. And let's get into story number 1. Am I the a-hole for getting engaged after my brother's wedding? Edit, I paraphrase some direct quotes and I remove some potentially identifiable information. My brother and his now wife got married 3 days ago. A very small destination ceremony, under 15 people total. My now fiance and I extended our trip after everybody went home and spent a couple of days exploring the Grand Canyon, a couple of hours north of the wedding, where he proposed to me. When I shared the news to my brother and my now sister-in-law, he responded with hostility, saying that it seemed like we were competing. I apologized, realizing that he was advocating for my sister-in-law that she felt hurt, although I'm truly failing to understand why. I also texted her a separate apology and I explained that it was not our intent to encroach and I only wanted to share the news with family and that it's my belief that there's room for happiness for everybody. She did not respond. In response to my apology, my brother doubled down and said the timing and location were hurtful and that we shouldn't have planned around the wedding. I want to point out the bit where OP said my now fiance and I extended our trip after everybody had already gone home and we spent a couple of days exploring the Grand Canyon, and that's where he proposed. It's not like OP's partner proposed at the wedding. It was at least 2 days after, in a completely different place after everybody went home. The consensus is definitely not the a-hole. The top comment says not the a-hole, and I can see that you're trying valiantly to understand, but I'm not sure that your brother or his wife are going to be able to give you a good reason for their reaction, because their reaction is wild. Sure, it's rude to propose at somebody else's wedding, but that's not what happened. The fact that you and your fiance got engaged a few days after their wedding, before you flew home, is a totally different thing. Also, the level of hostility in that message from your brother is nasty and definitely not normal. I'm so sorry that he treats you like that. This other comment says not the a-hole. You didn't do it at the wedding or during any after ceremony festivities. You extended your trip and it happened after everybody had already left. Your sister-in-law and brother had their day. Life doesn't pause for everybody else after their single day. That's the craziest reason to be pissed at somebody. Congratulations on your engagement. Yeah, and also this comment too. Not the a-hole. You didn't steal any of their thunder. Congratulations. Yeah, I really don't think that comes off as competing with them. I don't feel like many people besides them are going to think that you're trying to compete with them, OP. Like, it was days after the wedding. Everybody had already gone home. It's not like you were at the wedding and your partner proposed to you in front of everybody. Of course, that would be stealing their thunder, but that's not what happened. Okay, moving on to post number 2. This one that we're going to read is also on Am I the a-hole? Am I the a-hole for not giving my girlfriend my social security number so she can run a background check on me? I, 27 male, have been in a relationship with my girlfriend, 31 female, for almost a year now. This evening, she sat me down and said that she needs to have a serious conversation with me, and she asked me for my social security number. I said, absolutely not. Why would you need that? And she told me about her ex-boyfriend that was basically living a double life. He had a bunch of criminal charges in his past that he'd never told her about, and eventually exposed her to some sketchy and dangerous behavior before she broke things off after he cheated. I said, okay, thank you for telling me that, but what does that have to do with my social security number? She said ever since then, she's had her friend that works for the federal government run background checks on people to make sure that they're safe. And because our relationship is progressing, she needs to know that I'm a safe partner for her. So she wants my social security number to check on my criminal history. Now, for the record, I don't even have a parking ticket. I'm a nerd and a gym rat. All I do is work, go to school, play Dungeons and Dragons, come home, watch anime, rinse and repeat. So I don't care about a background check, she won't find anything. But I'm not giving out my social security number. I don't feel comfortable enough providing that to her friend. When I said that, she got upset and said that I don't understand what women go through and it's about safety. And I admitted that she's right. I have no idea what women go through. But that doesn't mean that I'm giving my social security number out to a complete stranger. She says that he isn't a stranger. He's one of her best friends and married to a close friend of hers. And I said, honey, that's great, but I don't know him. I don't trust him because I don't know him. That's my information you're asking for. You can trust him with your personal information if you want to, but nobody that I don't know is getting my social security number or critical details. It's just not happening. And then she said that our relationship isn't going to be able to progress unless I give him my social security number because she needs to know that she's safe. And also, she's offended that I don't trust her taste in friends. I got up and I left at that point, and I told her I respect her concerns, but her past trauma doesn't give her the right to try and strong arm me into giving out sensitive information to somebody that I don't don't even know, just because he works for the federal government and has access to a database. I used to work for the federal government, so I can say from experience, everybody working there isn't some wonderful person. I'm not assuming that he's a monster or anything, but just working for the feds doesn't prove anything to me. She then called me insensitive and hasn't spoken to me since. Personally, I feel like she was gaslighting me into giving her what she wants, but I'm not sure. The top comment says, not the a-hole. I am a federal employee who does have access to some systems like that in order to locate people, and it's 100% against the law to use them for personal reasons. In fact, we have to try all other reasonable ways to find somebody before using these systems. There's something really sketchy there. Also, you don't even need a social security number to do a background check. A name and address or birth date are enough. This comment says, not the a-hole. I just had a background check completed. I've had them every 5-ish years for the last 20 years because I volunteer with children, some in-state and some federal. I also have been screened by the government for a permit several times. I have never had to provide a social security number. Sadly, I think your girlfriend may be the criminal, and you may be her long con mark. Yeah, not the a-hole, OP. There's definitely something fishy going on here. Like, I really need your social security number to make sure that you're safe. Well, you don't actually even need my social security number for what you want to do. So what's the actual reason that you want it? And also, OP said she called me insensitive and hasn't spoken to me since. None of this is a healthy relationship. This comment says her government friend is committing a felony. Not the a-hole. You want no part of this. Yeah, very, very suspicious behavior, OP. Okay, moving on to post number 3. This one is on, you guessed it, am I the a-hole? Am I the a-hole for telling my sister that a pregnancy announcement doesn't count as a Christmas present? My 32-male family gets together every year for Christmas for a week or so at a popular vacation spot in our state. It's been a tradition since I was a kid, and every year we do a Secret Santa exchange. Anybody over 18 is put into the pool, which does help cut down expenses as you only need to purchase a present for one adult instead of all the siblings and parents and aunts and uncles. Kids and teens under 18 would get individual presents, but the youngest is my sister, who's 24 female, so it hasn't come up for a while. My sister Heather, 24 female, is the one who had my name this year. She gave me a positive pregnancy test wrapped up to look like a DVD set of my favorite show. I unwrapped it and I congratulated her, but I was curious about what happened to the DVDs. I thought maybe that she had them set aside since she had the packaging for the box set. She got mad and told me that her present to me and the family was the pregnancy and that she didn't have the DVDs. I told her I was happy for her, but I felt a little cheated. The Secret Santa presents are supposed to be either handmade or between $50 and $100, so they're usually pretty high quality presents. Also, Heather didn't tell any of us that she was trying to get pregnant. She's not married and we don't love her boyfriend, so it was kind of mixed news anyway. I get that she was trying to be cute, but am I the a-hole for expecting the DVDs as a real present? Her present from my aunt was a $100 gift card to a spa that she loves. My parents think that I should just be happy that there'll be a niece or nephew, but it still doesn't seem fair. And I don't think a niece or nephew in 6 months counts as a Secret Santa present. Yeah, I feel like you're right, OP. Like the top comment says, not the a-hole. A gift like that is really only acceptable for her significant other. You deserved a real gift. Yeah, that's pretty weird, isn't it? Like, yeah, amazing. We're so happy for you and so excited. But a pregnancy test that you peed on is not a present. No, you're definitely right here, OP. And your feelings are definitely valid. Like, it's a cute gift-giving thing that you do for Christmas. It's not something that you're going to be, like, furious about for a long time. But no, you're right. That's not a gift. Yeah, like this comment says, it's unfair to set expectations for a meaningful gift and then just throw out a life update. It's not the same. And your feelings are valid. And the comment below that says, exactly. A gift is supposed to be thoughtful and considerate of the recipient, not a way to make everything about the giver. Her pregnancy announcement, while exciting for her, isn't really a meaningful or appropriate present for you. And if there's a set price limit, it's even more frustrating that she didn't put in the effort to meet it with something that you'd actually appreciate. Yeah, but also the sister put the pregnancy test in the box of something that OP would appreciate. Like, the sister put the pregnancy test inside a box of DVDs that OP wanted, but she didn't give OP the DVDs. Like, you even put it in a box of something that you know that I'd like, but you didn't actually give me what was in that box. Yeah, I don't know. That one's pretty wild. It says she gave me a positive pregnancy test wrapped up to look like a DVD set of my favorite show. And then she said that she didn't have the DVDs. Like, oh yay, my favorite show. Oh, wait a second, it's empty and there's a pregnancy test in here. And also, you're not actually gonna give me the DVDs? You put the pregnancy test in the box to get my hopes up about the DVDs or something, but you're not actually gonna give me the DVDs? Yeah, I don't really know what your sister was thinking, OP. Now we're moving on to post number 5. This next one that we're gonna read is on the Today I Messed Up subreddit. A nice little brag from the Am I the A-hole stories. Today I messed up by not touching a button on my headphones for 7 years. When I got my headphones back in 2017, I liked how the buttons for turning the volume up and down were separated. The design choice made sense to me. It was easy to aim for the correct one. Today I began looking into newer headphones that had more advanced noise cancellation. I was also interested in a pretty cool feature that I've never seen other people using on their earbuds. The ability to pause and skip and go back with simple button presses. I figured that if this feature was available on earbuds, newer headphones must have it as well. I watched a video comparing the updated versions of my preferred brand, and I noticed a multi-function button placed between the volume buttons on the lower end model. It struck me that this setup looked pretty similar to my current headphones, which I proceeded to take off and then examine. With a sinking heart, I replaced my headphones and I pressed the space between the volume buttons. The comparison video began to play. I pressed the space twice and it skipped on to the next video. The power was mine all along. For 7 years I grabbed my phone to navigate audiobooks and podcasts, not realizing that the buffer space on my headphones was actually a button itself. That is so funny. The top comment says, just wait until you discover the other button that turns on noise cancelling. Yeah, that's so funny. Where have you been for the last 7 years? All I've wanted were headphones that did what my headphones already did. That's so funny and a nice wholesome one to read in between the stories. Okay, now we're moving on to story number 6. This one's back on Am I the A-hole? Am I the A-hole for leaving my wife, stepson, and everybody behind to start over? Background, my wife and I have been married for nearly 7 years. She cheated on me with a co-worker of hers about 5 years back. I've been suspicious for the entire year that she was doing it again. And I was correct. I'm not sure with who, but she lies like a rug now and takes zero responsibility. She blames me for her actions. I've been an utter train wreck. Depression, too much booze, anxiety through the roof. All because I knew what she was doing, but she gaslit me to the point of near insanity. So she doesn't want a divorce, but wants an informal separation. She wants me to get another apartment or house nearby to remain as a family. Our son is my stepchild. His father died before he was born. I'm the only dad that he's ever known, and he's my only child. My wife wants me to continue paying on our home. I make much more than she does, and also to pony up even more money so that she and my boy can continue to live the lifestyle that I've provided them for years. I don't want to be a cuckold for her ever again, nor do I feel like I should be obligated to give her any more love or money. So am I the a-hole for planning on moving to another country to restart my life at 53? Or should I stay put and continue to be treated like this? Much love and thank you in advance. Oh, that's an awful situation. I'm so sorry, OP. The top comment says, not the a-hole. She's looking for you to simply be an ATM and continue to provide the standard of living that she's used to. Meanwhile, she wants to use the separation to do whatever she wants and see whoever she wants to. She's not concerned about you or the marriage anymore, so neither should you be concerned about the marriage or her. You need to do what's best for you, and that means not being with her. And OP said, you can't see, but I'm nodding my head in disgust and absolute agreement with you. These are hard truths and I must confront them now. OP's got a comment that says, a few more details. I think it's applicable. About a year and a half ago, she started going out after work. She works in an industry that has a lot of 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. events. At some point, she started ghosting me, not being honest about where she was or who she was with. I'd be left at home to take care of my boy, and it consumed to escalate to the point of me walking out. She made me feel insane for even thinking that she was up to no good. Finally, the evidence came. The day before Thanksgiving, she got a Versace purse in the mail. I went to see what that would cost, as she would never spend that kind of cash on herself. Instead of finding a receipt, I found a card with a detailed account of his love for her. It crushed me. Yeah, Thanksgiving was hell on earth. She told me she gets gifts like that all the time, and it wasn't a big deal. That should give you an idea of how epic the gaslights are, and still remain. Oh, the absolute audacity. That's so awful. This comment says, not the a-hole, try to be supportive of your boy. And OP said, I'm doing my very best to put his feelings first. Thank you. OP also left this comment here. He is mentioned, as in OP's boy, but not enough, I agree. He knows that we're separating and is okay with it. His mum is trying to create distance between us, and I'm carefully respecting that. I've got zero plans to abandon him. Zero. It's all in how I handle it moving forward. I've got zero control over what she does, but I can control what I do. Yeah, well, in that case, 100% not the a-hole. I was a little bit worried that you were going to give up on your son and move away and never see your son again, but like you said there, I've got zero plans to abandon him. I can't believe the audacity of the wife. My wife wants me to continue paying on our home and ponying up more money so that she and my boy can continue to live the lifestyle that I've provided for years. Like, that is unbelievable. We read so many stories about people calling people heartless and cold-hearted and stuff, but this right here, that's cold-hearted, that's heartless, and it's also laughable. Like, what, you cheated on me but you expect me to keep funding your lifestyle? No, that's so awful. I'm really sorry that you had to go through that, OP. Okay, moving on to post number 7. happen. This one that we're going to read is also on Am I the A-hole? Am I the A-hole for writing my siblings out of my will? For context, my brother 30 male and sister 25 female have lived very far from me for a long period of time, going on over a decade now. They never bothered to include me as a sibling growing up, and they've continued that tradition into adulthood. Contact is sparse at best, and only when initiated by a mutual third party, never voluntary on their end, and all attempts from me are ignored. I have received a medical diagnosis that isn't looking good, and I wanted to ensure that should the worst happen, my affairs would be in order over the next few years. I updated my living will recently, family doesn't know that I've got one, and I struck them from it, barring them from receiving anything, instead leaving assets to my parents with instructions on their provisioning. Friends have told me that I'm being harsh and that I should include them, but I hardly know them anymore, and any interactions have been largely negative over the past 10 to 15 years. I could care less what happens after I'm gone, but I don't want what I worked hard for to go to them. And OP, that's completely understandable. Of course you don't want that. Nobody would want that if they were in your shoes. The top comment says, not the a-hole. It doesn't matter that they're blood related or related by law or whatever. Your property is your property and you can give it to whomever you want to. It doesn't matter what your feelings are on it. It's yours to do as you wish to. Give to your parents, okay? Give it to your great-great-great-great-great-granddaughter on her 9th birthday, as you wish. If what you provided is all the details and they're true, then strike everybody out of the will as you wish. Yeah, especially OP siblings that have treated OP like this. It even said that every time OP attempts to contact their siblings, they ignore OP, and that they never bothered to include OP as a sibling growing up, and they've done the exact same thing as adults. Like, that makes total sense that you're not going to leave them anything. I'm kind of surprised at your friends, OP, because I feel like this one is pretty obvious. I don't even feel like your siblings would be expecting anything from you, OP. Like, they were bad to you, and they excluded you your whole life. Like, yeah, you're not going to leave them anything. That definitely makes sense. Okay, moving on to post number 8. This one's on Am I the A-hole too, and I'm sure it's going to be an adventure. Am I the A-hole for doing nothing at Christmas, which led to my quote-unquote family having a crappy one? I'm 17 male and a fair baby, and I always knew about it. My quote-unquote dad cheated on his wife, and then had me with my quote-unquote mum. His wife forgave him as long as I was treated differently, and I didn't have to be a part of the family, which he agreed with. But in the first year of my life, I was almost killed by my mum, removed from her care, bounced around a lot, almost got placed with the forever family, but was taken out of foster care because my dad was forced to pay child support for me, as was my mum. And he and his wife decided to take me so that he wouldn't be on the hook for child support. My dad's wife has enjoyed telling me all about it and showing me newspaper articles from my mum's arrest at the time. She even showed me a letter from my mum where she wanted to give up her rights so dad's wife could adopt me, and she told me that she would never consider it. She would never claim me, and she called me disgusting. For way too many years, I tried to win the love of somebody in my family. I have 3 half-siblings, and then I have my dad and his wife. I have grandparents and aunts and uncles too, and even step-grandparents and aunts and uncles. I tried to be the perfect son and brother. I helped out with things around the house. I'd make food of some kind when everybody was busy, so they'd come home to something to eat. I would volunteer to help whenever I could, and I'd try extra hard and long to find the things they were looking for, even when everybody else gave up. I also did a lot for Christmas every year. I wrapped the gifts that my dad's wife put aside because she'd forgotten to wrap them until Christmas Eve if I didn't. I'd write out a grocery list for dad and his wife so they'd have everything they needed. For 3 years I decorated the house for Christmas so nobody else had to do it. And I did a lot of other small things. All I was hoping was that it'd make them see me differently. Even just one person. I also tried to be nice and smile even when I was being ignored or yelled at. I try so hard. And yeah, I've got deep issues because of all of it. But this year's been different for me, and I don't know why. I think it started in June when one of my half-siblings came home with friends from college, and my half-sibling humiliated me in front of their friends, saying I was an affair baby that nobody wanted, and how gross I was being here still. I just had nowhere else to go. Then I won a laptop in July, and since I didn't have one until now, I was excited. But my dad found it and told his wife, and she told their kids, and then one wanted to take it from me, and dad's wife told me that I deserve nothing, and I better not think I get to keep anything like that when her kids deserve more. And then my dad told me that I needed to be out of the house before my 18th birthday because they were tired of me being here, and his wife didn't want to see my face any longer. Oh, this is so sad. It all just made me feel so done with them and done trying. I withdrew and I only leave my room for school or my part-time job. I don't even eat in the house anymore because I don't want to engage. And I did nothing for Christmas. It really showed how bad they are at organizing stuff, and there wasn't enough food or anything. My dad came into my room the other night and told me that he knew that I hadn't done stuff like normal, and he called me spiteful. Am I the a-hole? Of course not. What awful, neglectful, abusive pieces of crap. No, you're not the a-hole, OP. This comment says, contact CPS yourself and tell them every abusing thing that your dad and his wife are doing doing to you. Say that you're an endangered teen in need of safety. See if they can help you find a safe place to stay. Somebody that will take you in until you're 18. Get whatever help you need possible through whatever state or country you live in. And go completely no contact with your miserable sperm donor. Also, if they succeeded in taking that laptop that's rightfully yours, go to the police and report it as a theft. Watch them do anything and everything possible to try to get you to drop the charges. But don't back down. Get out of there as soon as you can. Go completely no contact with all of them, especially the miserable sperm donor that you have for a father, and live your life. Please update us on this because I'm one of the many people who's very concerned for you. The top comment says, not the a-hole, you owe these people nothing. Remember that. Despite what they may have you believe, you owe them nothing. They used and abused you all of your life for the crime of being born. They put all their rage and humiliation from the affair onto a baby. That's evil. Your siblings not standing up for you also makes them trash. Focus on saving your money and cutting them all off as soon as you can move out. The best revenge that you can possibly have is success. Be more successful than your siblings and prove your parents wrong. This comment says, not the a-hole. Would love to tell him, and you're a pathetic excuse of a father and a human being. Your affair, your mistakes are apparently mine to fix. You should feel ashamed for having a child fix your infidelity. But don't worry, I'll be out of your hair soon, and then you and your a-hole family can fail together at being humans. This comment says, if all of this is true, please, for the love of God, don't let it affect the rest of your life and halt your potential. These people sound like horrid creatures that don't deserve another second from you. Yeah, horrid creatures is a good way of putting it. They do genuinely sound like horrid creatures. That's absolutely vile. I'm keen to read your comments, guys. I feel so sorry for OP. Okay, moving on to post number 9. This one's back on the Today I Messed Up subreddit. I felt like we might need it after the last story. Today I messed up by not knowing how white my hair really was. I, 37 male, started getting white hair when I was a teenager. I started growing my hair out 2 years ago, so now I have nearly shoulder-length curly hair with white curls throughout. I love it. My wife loves it. Life is good. Until last night when I flew too close to the sun. My wife was dyeing a couple of tips of our daughter's hair pink and blue. My wife said to her, we should dye Dad's hair next. My daughter replied, boys can't dye their hair. So after showing her some music videos of songs that she likes, Time Bomb by Rancid with Lars's bright red mohawk, and Josie by Blink-182 with Tom's bleached hair and Mark's purple hair, I told her I'd dye my white curls either blue or pink, and the choice was up to her. She picked blue. My hair is otherwise very dark, so I figured it would only show up on the white hair. My wife has claimed in the past that dye doesn't adhere to white hair as well, so I figured there was no harm in coating my whole head. How much is it going to show up anyway? This is the Today I Messed Up. So I wait the 30 minutes, my wife takes my daughter upstairs to rinse her hair out, and I hop in the downstairs shower. A lot of dye comes out in the shower, and I think I'm pretty clever. I've never dyed my hair before, and having a couple of blue streaks amidst the curls is gonna look pretty cool. I get out of the shower, I dry my hair off, and I look in the mirror. My head is completely blue. I go upstairs where my wife is bathing my kid. So 2 things. 1, I think I have more white hair than I first thought. My wife, yeah, I could have told you that. And 2nd, you may have been wrong about how well dye works on white hair. They had a good laugh about all of this. Now, I've got nothing against dyed hair, and I work in a job where it doesn't really matter, alongside people who wouldn't think anything of it after the initial laughing subsides. However, I'm a 37-year-old dude who's never had any dye in my hair, never mind nearly shoulder-length blue hair. I look so foolish. Wow, that's so cute. I'm so happy that we read this story today. Yeah, that's so wholesome, and I don't feel like this one's a mess up at all. I feel like that's so cute and so wholesome, OP. And there's nothing wrong with some blue hair. That's so awesome. You sound like a cool dad, OP. Moving on to post number 10. This one is also once again on Am I the A-hole? Am I the A-hole for telling my sister's boyfriend it's not his business if I don't want to be a stay-at-home mum? So I, female 22, have an older sister, female 28, and she has 4 kids. And she loves to be a mum and wants to be a stay-at-home mum. And I encourage her to do whatever she wants to. She herself understands that I have no desire to be a mum right now, if not ever. I have 2 other older sisters who are like me who don't want to be a stay-at-home mum. This is important in the story. Her boyfriend is mad at me, male 27, because he asked me when I'm going to settle down and that he can introduce me to his friend, male 25, who wants a stay-at-home wife. Wow, okay. I told him no, that I don't want to date anyone this year, and then he got mad at me for some reason and asked me why so. I told him that my ex-boyfriend left me with trust issues. My ex cheated on me for 6 months into a 3-year relationship. He told me that we broke up in 2023 and I should start getting back out there. And I told him that it's not his business and he dropped it. But 2 days ago, he asked if I wanted to be a stay-at-home wife and mother. And I told him no, that I don't want that. And I'm not even sure if I want kids, let alone to be married. He got defensive since his mum was a stay-at-home wife and mum. None of this is this guy's business. And I told him that I don't see anything wrong with being a stay-at-home mum, but that I don't personally want to depend on a man for anything. And he once again got defensive and said that not all men are the same. I told him that he was correct, but again, not all women want the same thing. He said my sister wants to be a stay-at-home wife and mum, and I told him congratulations on finding that with my sister, but that I once again don't want to be a stay-at-home mum. He got mad because he overheard my conversation about me getting an IUD and told me that I'm ruining God's plan to make me a mum one day, and I told him whether I want kids or not is not his business. Yeah, none of this is his business. He got mad at me and then told me to get out of his home, so I did. My older sister is asking me to apologize to him and to not get an IUD since if I get pregnant that it's God's plan. And she also told me that I should reconsider being a stay-at-home mum and wife. I told her not everybody has that dream. And then she accused me of not respecting stay-at-home mothers and wives, which is nothing but lies. Yeah, just because you don't want to do it doesn't mean that you don't respect people who do want to. My 2 other older sisters are on my side and said that my sister's boyfriend should not be concerned with how I live my life. Yeah, 100%. And that if I don't want to depend on anybody for the rest of my life, that's my choice. He also said that I'm going to hell for being bisexual. So I screamed that I guess his girlfriend, my sister, is also going to go to hell because she's bisexual herself, which he already knows about. Now their friends are calling me an a-hole, saying that he only cares about what I do with my body since it's God's body and I should respect it and become a mum soon. I'm really trying not to laugh. Are you joking? That is so ridiculous. So am I the a-hole for telling my sister's boyfriend that it's not his business if I don't want to be a stay-at-home mum or wife? Of course you're not the a-hole, OP. That's ridiculous. I want to read that last bit again really fast. Now their friends are calling me an a-hole, saying that he only cares about what I do with my body since it's God's body and I should respect it and become a mum soon. Are you freaking kidding me? That's one of the most bizarre sentences that I've read in a long time. Edit to clarify, I did put this in some comments, but 3 out of her 4 kids aren't even his. My sister has a 7, 4, and 3, and soon to be newborn. Edit number 2, I get asked this question a lot about why I was discussing getting an IUD to my sister's boyfriend. I wasn't even discussing it to him. Me and my 3 sisters were all discussing it at his house, but he wasn't even there. He walked in though when I said that I was thinking of getting an IUD, and that's when he butted into the conversation. Yeah, that sounds about right. And as soon as he said God's body, not my body, me and my other 2 sisters started talking to him about it, and he raised his voice, so I raised my voice, and then we eventually left since I don't like conflict at all. It's God's body, not your body. Yeah, like the top comment says, this guy sounds like a creep. Who is he to dictate what you do with your life, or your career, and your body? I hope your sister knows about this and supports you, not the a-hole. The second top comment says there are so many red flags here, and not the a-hole. To add a bit of fun and flair to your arguments, since they keep bringing up God in all of these, feel free to point out that boyfriend is not husband, and in God's eyes, they're living in sin, and all those lovely children are illegitimate bastards. That should bring about a whole bucket of fun there. Also, be sure to point out her boyfriend's obsession with your body and what you're doing with it. Does he perchance want that body for his own? And since he can't have it, he's using his friend as a surrogate? There are some serious issues here, but none of them are your problem. As a side note, being petty with biblical technicalities can be a total hoot. You obviously love your sister if you're putting up with this guy's bullshit, but I'd be going low or no contact after that. Yeah, that's actually unbelievable. And yeah, he's so creepy. Guaranteed he's interested in you, OP. This comment says, my question is, why does he care so much? It's actually concerning that your sister doesn't see how creepy he is. Obviously, you're not the a-hole. But how this guy's acting gives me the creeps. And OP left a comment that said 3 out of the 4 kids aren't even his. He's the stepfather. She is pregnant with this baby though, about to give birth at the end of this month. They got together last year, and he's been giving me the creeps since. Then when we even tried to talk some sense into my sister about him, she doesn't see it. So we let her do her own thing. Yeah, I can't believe what we just read. That is so creepy. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister's boyfriend it's not his business if I don't want to be a stay-at-home mum? Not at all. You're not the a-hole at all. It absolutely is not his business. If I were you, OP, I wouldn't go anywhere near this guy. Moving on to post number 11. This one's also on Am I the a-hole? Am I the a-hole for reacting like this to finding out that my boyfriend has 2 kids? I 25 female. I've been dating a guy 31 male for the past 2 months. However, last night he told me that he has 2 kids. I was honestly shocked. I was so shocked that this was the first time that he was telling me, especially since we've been dating over Christmas and didn't even mention it. I've never dated anybody who had kids before, so naturally I was curious and I started asking questions. Whenever I got to my 4th question, he started getting slightly defensive, asking if I was the cops because I was asking so many questions, laughing my ass off. Eventually, I was able to get through to him and explain how I was feeling. Since he basically kept this a secret and sprung it on me as if it was nothing, he opened up and said that his kids have 2 different mothers and that they don't get along because the kids were born only 4 months apart and the youngest is only 9 months old. At this point, I'm literally flabbergasted. We were both kind of drunk and I told him I'd go back to my own apartment because I needed time to think about it all. He didn't want me to leave on my own and take the subway. We live in New York City, so we both went back to his place to sleep and I slept in the spare room. I left early, around 5 in the morning, and now he's blowing up my phone asking me what's wrong and what happened. That this was the reason that he didn't want to tell me that he had kids, because I wouldn't like him anymore. Please somebody tell me that I'm not losing my mind and that this man is crazy. I'm actually laughing so much writing this because how the hell did I not notice this man has 2 kids? Is he that good of a liar? At this point, I'm ready to break up with him because who even is this man? If he lied about that, what else is he lying about? Am I being an a-hole about this situation? Update, thank you to everybody who's replied. I'm honestly still in shock about it all, but I have broken up with him and I've blocked him on everything. He told me that baby mama number 1 was his girlfriend and that they broke up, but were still hooking up post-breakup. Then while they were broken up, he was hooking up with other women, and that's where baby mama number 2 came from. I asked him how he has nothing in his apartment for the babies, and he said, I'm not really in their lives at the moment, aka deadbeat, as most of you suspected. Another wild story. This comment says, this doesn't seem like not telling, but really hiding it, which is really wrong and he knows it, not the a-hole. The comment above that says, I feel like the 2 different mums having kids a few months apart is probably the worst part here. The top comment says, not the a-hole. 2 baby mamas and the kids are only 4 months apart? Do you honestly think that he's ever going to be loyal to you with that sort of history? This comment says, I think 2 months is a long time to keep that away from you. Things like that should be coming out in the 1st or 2nd date. That is assuming that you're actually dating and not just hooking up. Yeah, definitely trust your gut here, OP. You've already said that you've broken up with him and blocked him on everything, but are you the a-hole for reacting like this to finding out that your boyfriend has 2 kids? No, definitely not. Like this comment says, lol, he knows what's wrong. It's not like he hid it by accident. He knows what he did. Okay, moving on to post number 12. This one's also on Am I the A-hole? Am I the a-hole for not attending my sister's wedding because of her child-free rule? So my 34 male sister, 29 female, recently got married. It was a huge, fancy event and she spent the past year planning every single detail. One of her main rules was that it would be a child-free wedding. I completely understand and I respect that. It's her wedding, her rules. Here's the thing though, I'm a single dad to my son, 6 male. I don't have much of a support system and his mum is not in the picture. When I got the invite, I told my sister I'd love to come, but I explained my situation. I asked if there was any way I could bring my son, or if not, if she'd be willing to help me cover a babysitter for the day, since it would require an overnight trip. She shut down both ideas immediately, saying it's not her responsibility and to figure it out like everybody else. Fair enough, but I genuinely couldn't find anybody to watch him. I even offered to hire a sitter to stay with him in the hotel during the ceremony and reception, but my sister still said no, claiming that it violated the spirit of her child-free rule. So I let her know that I couldn't make it. She was furious and told me that I was being selfish and that I should have made it work. OP's been trying to make it work. The wedding went on and I didn't attend. Now my entire family is blowing up my phone calling me an a-hole for missing such an important day. My sister won't even speak to me. And my parents are saying that I should have tried harder or just left him with somebody for one night. Am I the a-hole for standing my ground and not going when I couldn't bring my son or find a sitter? Edit for clarification to those asking if I could have left him with a friend or somebody else. I genuinely don't have anybody I trust to leave him with overnight. Edit number 2. I also want to add that my sister has met my son maybe twice and has never really taken an interest in my life as a single parent. This wasn't just about the wedding. It feels like a bigger issue about her lack of empathy. Yeah, once again, the audacity. Like this comment says, not the a-hole. If the whole family's at the wedding and your sister said no to you hiring a sitter to stay at the hotel, then you had no other options. You can't just leave your child with a random stranger overnight for your sister's wedding, and anybody expecting you to do that is a dumbass. And OP even said that they don't have any friends or anybody they trust enough. So yeah, you were actually out of options, OP. The top comment says, not the a-hole. Your sister's allowed to decide who's invited to her wedding, but since she chose not to allow any children, she has to understand if people who have children cannot attend. It was an invitation, not a command. Yeah, and also also, like this comment says, she's not in charge of what you do at your hotel. The audacity of her to say that that wouldn't work. She can eat rocks. Yeah, you couldn't leave your child with somebody at the hotel because that violated the spirit of her rule. Where does she get off? Yeah, like the comment below that says, oh, but just knowing that his son was at the hotel would have violated the spirit of her rule. I'm telling you, I know there's a child in this hotel. I don't care if he's 5 floors up in another wing and nobody has even seen him since he arrived. Him being in the general vicinity is ruining my special day. Yeah, that part there about violating the spirit of her rule, that's definitely one of the most ridiculous things I've ever read. Like, hey sister, you won't even know about it. And like that comment said, I'm telling you, I know there's a child in this hotel. It's ruining my special day. Like the child won't be at your wedding. You don't even have to see the child, but that's not okay because that violates the spirit of her rule. Oh, I'm so sorry, Your Highness. Yeah, like this comment says, not the a-hole. I seriously don't understand how she objected to having your kid floors away in the hotel where he wouldn't be a bother to anybody. That's just insane and rude and silly. Yeah, like talk about creating problems that don't need to exist. That is so wild. Okay, moving on to post number 13. Once again on the Am I the A-hole subreddit. Would I be the a-hole for kicking my girlfriend out and leaving her stranded in a foreign country after finding out that she cheated? So it's exactly as the title says. I'm currently seated on the couch typing this while she's sound asleep in my bed. I feel lost. I'm 24 male and I've been with my girlfriend 23 female for 3 years now. She's an international student who I met while enrolled at a university in my home country. We clicked and we started dating soon thereafter. We dated until I ultimately graduated and moved to a different city. Meanwhile, she returned home for further studies and we were in a long distance relationship for a significant portion of this year. While long distance, we would talk daily, have a phone call almost every night, and there were constant mutual assurances of love and commitment. I'd help her with her studies, talk with her family occasionally, and everything went smoothly for the most part. For the holidays, I flew her to my city so we could reunite for a bit before she returned to her studies. I've taken her on dates, taken her shopping, explored the city with her, and have a full itinerary of fun activities we can do. It's been pretty much what you'd expect the typical young couple to do. I thought that we were wildly in love and aiming to build a future together. Of course, it all came crashing down. I woke up this morning to a barrage of messages and screenshots from an unfamiliar number. It's all damning. It confirms that she's cheated on me multiple times while in her home country. There were texts talking about her needing to take emergency contraceptives, missing her period, possibly needing an abortion, and so much more. Some of it's so sickening that I can't even believe this is the same woman that I've come to know for years. It makes me question whether I even really know her, or if I only knew parts of her that she wanted me to know. I don't even know what I feel right now. I feel like I'm lucid dreaming. Part of me so furious, incandescent with rage. Another part of me is just dead. Her flight for home leaves tomorrow and I'm torn between waking her up and confronting her now, or just waiting until she's departed before blocking her and then forgetting her existence. I don't know. It just perplexes me that after all of this time of being committed and loyal to her, this is how she chooses to behave. Reddit, I'm strongly contemplating kicking her out and leaving her stranded. Another part of me just wants to drive her to the airport and send her away tomorrow, never speaking to her again. Would I be the a-hole if I chose the former option? I don't even know how to feel right now. Edit, well, I confronted her about it. Turns out the series of messages and screenshots were not fake. As some of you speculated, it's all real. To those of you whose first instinct it is to assume that this is fake or AI generated, the skepticism is misplaced. Nothing else to say to any of you. To those of you who offered advice, I appreciate it. I'll drop her off at the airport and I'll move on with my life. Have a good 2025. Oh, I'm so sorry, OP. That's so awful. After a 3-year relationship too. Like you've been so committed to this person and this is what they do to you. Cheating is so gross. OP said she's packed and ready to leave for the flight first thing tomorrow. I'm gonna get tested tomorrow and hopefully I haven't contracted anything. I'm just tired. OP's also got a comment that says, unfortunately, I saw the evidence on her phone myself. It's not fake. It wasn't some malicious attempt to stir trouble in the relationship. It was all on her. She made the conscious decision to stray repeatedly at that. It's a nightmare come to life and right now, it's a struggle to even maintain a level head. But it's almost over. A few more hours and she'll be gone for good. The top comment says, be happy somebody told you this. Otherwise, you might raise somebody else's child. Forward her all the messages and say nothing. She knows the way to the airport. Yeah, I'm so sorry, OP. All the best in the future. A betrayal like this is so unbelievably awful. And on that note, I feel like that's a good place to end the episode. Let me know down below in the comment section how you went with today's episode, guys. And also let me know if you made it to the end of the video. I've got a really cute wholesome meme to show you. Me holding my pet up to the mirror saying, look, it's you. How cute is that? I do that all the time. Look, Chia, it's you. And she's like, oh my God, I cannot believe this. It's myself. That's That's so cute, and I feel like we've all done this at least once. Thank you for watching, guys. I really, really appreciate your support. That was a wild episode, and I hope you had a good time today. If you did, make sure you let me know down below in the comment section, and also like the video and subscribe to the channel if you want to. And the comment of the day today goes to Twiggy Girl 84. Our chinchilla, Ginger Rogers, turns 20 on January 1st. Of course, we love our kitties, but our bounce mouse rules over all of us with a tiny iron paw. We'd love it if she could get a happy birthday. Oh, happy birthday to your beautiful chinchilla. Turning 20 years old. That's so beautiful. Twiggy Girl 84, who left this comment, is a Vincey member, and they sent me this really cute photo of their chinchilla in our Vincey members Discord server. Look at this beautiful little chinchilla. That's so beautiful. And yeah, happy birthday. That's so beautiful. And I'll see you in the next episode, everybody. Make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And I'll see you next time. Bye!